dining room hutch, or when you're poking them into something like the foam. But I think that we don't need any more than that for this idea. We're going to kind of hide these stems. We don't want them to be seen, but we want the beauty of the hydrangea in there. So I can see a stem right down here that I'm not liking, and I think that it could be hidden possibly with another one. So I think if we found another small one, or if I just clip back this stem and use these little pieces, but not this brown piece here, that would be pretty. And let's take these little pieces here and get those a little bit more down in. We also don't really need these leaves. It just shows that it's dead, and we don't want that. So now let's put this down in here like that. And then with this one here, let's clip this off. And again, any of that stray dead leaf, we don't want to be seen. We just want the beauty of the hydrangea. Now if we can poke this down in like that, then we'll get hydrangea showing around. You know, and I'm still not super happy with that, because this particular vase has some room in the bottom that we could add hydrangea to a little bit more than we are. Even crushed hydrangea is pretty there. So let's take a couple more of these little guys and cut these back. This little piece here could just drop right in. There's a piece that broke off. Get that in there. I'm going to use this stick and just get some of this to go around in the bottom there. I think it'll be pretty to have that. I usually don't like to crush my hydrangeas, but in this particular case, I think it'll look good. All right, now let's get that one back in there that we had. And I have another similar one from cutting that stem off. Poke that down in. First, we want the beauty of the hydrangea to show, so manipulate it a little bit. So here I have filled some of this, and the bottom is looking a little bit better. There's some color in the bottom. And some of it I had to actually nip off little pieces from the bigger cone of flowers in order to place them within here. And if you just were to put this cone in there, it might not fill in the space as well. So now here's the top of the cone all the way around. I'm thinking that we could use a little bit more right in here and then right in here. So again, I will show you how I nip off some of this. So pull this piece out, and it has some pretty color here on the edge. So we'll get that tucked down in here. See, like that. Here's maybe like a hole right here. So we'll nip off another pretty piece from this cone, and try to be gentle because you don't want to lose all those lovely little petals. Okay, how pretty that is. And one more little batch, I think, in through here. We could put the whole cone here, but then do you see how it sticks way out? I don't think that that's the look that we're looking for. So instead, we'll put some pretty pieces of it, clip off some, like this. There. Very lovely. Okay. Now I'm going to do the second one as well, and then we will place these up in my art room. Here is the finished product of the hydrangeas in those beautiful glass urns. It's a little close-up how that turned out on top of my cabinets. And then this is another one where it's just freely placed in a beautiful vase. Different colored ones, nice big heads, just dried the way I shared with you. And that second hydrangea urn that we made, and the different sides of it. That's the nice thing about this style, is you could put it on a dining room table, make sure it's nice on all sides. And then the final pedestaled glass, and you know, you can just use whatever you have, but what I'm sharing with you is that they don't have to be just in vases, or you know, sometimes you can put them in wreaths. And then I'm going to show you how I have refreshed that large vase in my front room.
Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe.